Thank you so much for coming through to Alice TV. In this video, we answer just one simple question. Is the God of the Muslims, Allah, the same as the God of the Christians, Jehovah? Are they the same God but having different names? The majority of Christians and also the majority of Muslims believe that it is the same God but having different names. Whether they be Sunnis or Shias, they believe that this God, the God of the Christians, is the same God that was worshipped back then as Allah, but with time, Christians have attributed to him a different name as Jehovah. And so it is the purpose of this video to answer this question. Is the God of the Muslims, Allah, the same as the God of the Christians, Jehovah? In beginning answering this question, we will compare two books and two writings. One from the Quran, the Muslim book, the sacred book of the Muslims, the Quran, and also the sacred book of the Christians, the Bible, and compare if these two deities are actually the same. Let's begin first with the Quran. We'll begin reading Surah 112, verse 1 to 4. This is what the Muslim book, the Quran, says. It says, "Say, He is Allah, the one and only, Allah the eternal, absolute. He begetteth not, nor is He begotten." The Muslim book, the first statement we read is that Allah, He cannot beget, neither is He begotten. In other words, Allah does not and cannot have a son. We also read from Quran, Surah 19, verse 88 all the way to 93. The Muslim book has chapters we call surahs. This is what the surah says. "And they say, the most merciful hath taken for himself a son. You have done an atrocious thing. The heavens almost ruptured from them, and the earth split open, and the mountains collapsed in devastation." Why are the mountains collapsing in devastation? Why is the earth opening, splitting open? They attribute to the most merciful a son. The Quran is saying the most atrocious thing that is done is attributing or saying that Allah has a son. The word atrocious, if you check from the dictionary, if you ask Uncle Google, what does the word atrocious mean? Atrocious means something that is horrifyingly wicked, something that is of a very poor quality, something that is extremely bad or unpleasant. We read from the Quran that it is an atrocious thing to say that Allah has a son. In other words, the God of the Muslims does not have a son, and He cannot have a son. Again, we read from the Quran. The word Quran simply means repetition. Surah 23, verse 91. It says, "Allah hath not taken any son, nor has there ever been any deity with him any deity." The last part of that statement that I have underlined, it says, "Exalted is Allah above any of what they describe Him." So Allah does not have a son. Allah cannot have a son. Again, Surah 4, verse 171, it has this to say. It says, "Indeed, Allah is but one God. Exalted is He above having a son." The Muslim book, the Quran, the sacred book of the Muslims, say, Allah, the God of the Muslims, cannot have a son. Well, unlike the God of the Muslims, who cannot have a son, who does not have a son, who is exalted above having a son, who does not have any deity with him, this same God of the Muslims is different from the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible, in several passages of the Holy Canon, declares concerning Himself as having a son. In Matthew chapter 3, when a man called Jesus is being baptized, the heavens open, the Holy Spirit descends as a dove, and a voice from heaven is heard saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." The God of the Bible declares that He has a son, and He is pleased in this son, and His name is Jesus. The same God again repeats Himself in Matthew chapter 17, verse 5. He declares by saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye Him." The famous verse of the Christian book, the Bible, John 3 verse 16, stumbles upon this same fact that Jesus, God, He has a begotten Son. In Matthew 3 verse 16 it says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life." The doctrine and the teaching that God gave His only begotten Son is the foundation of the Christian faith. When Jesus asked the disciples, "Whom do men say that I am?" Others say you are Jeremiah, others say you are John the Baptist. Then Jesus asked, "Whom do men say that I am?" Then a man called Peter answered and said, "Thou art Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus says, "No man, Peter, has revealed this to you, but the Father Himself." And upon this teaching, upon this truth, upon this rock of truth, He said, "I will build my church." The Christian faith is based on this foundational teaching that Jesus is the Son of the living God. But the Muslim book does not teach that God has a son. If you have seen, I have been reading from the Quran, which is in the English version of the Muslim book, the Quran, but never does it use the word God. It uses the word Allah, even in English. Unlike for the Christian faith, when we are using the Greek Bible, we use the Greek translation of God. When you're using the Hebrew Bible, we translate God in the Hebrew version. But the Muslim, they remain consistent. Whether in English it is Allah, whatever language it is Allah, this is a different deity from the Christian deity. This is a different Arabian God. Even from the symbol, he is symbolized by a crescent moon and a star. The Christian God is not symbolized by a crescent moon and a star. It is a different God. They are different gods. One has a son and one cannot and does not have a son. We have answered the question using the most important difference of all the differences. Is the God of the Bible, Jehovah, the same as the God of the Muslims, Allah? The answer is no. The God of the Bible has a son, and He gave His only begotten Son as a sign of His sacrificial love to save lost mankind. And His name is Jehovah, Elohim, El Shaddai, the great I am. Thank you so much for coming through to Alice TV. May the Lord Almighty bless